And back home, staying with the story of gay marriage, Bob Katter's Australian party says it's received hate mail and threatening phone calls over a controversial anti-gay marriage advertisement that aired on television last night.
The advertisement targets Australian Greens leader Bob Brown and Queensland's LNP leader Campbell Newman. Let's take a look.
How well do you really know Campbell Newman? Do you think he'll stand up for your family values? Do you think he'll really stand up to the Greens and other minority groups? Then think again. The LNP leader supports gay marriage, just like Greens leader Bob Brown.
I support gay marriage. I support gay marriage.
That's right, he supports gay marriage.
But the LNP leader does back gay marriage.
Well, I've said before that I support gay marriage.
Is a vote for LNP leader Campbell Newman a vote for...
An ad that went on TV last night by Bob Katter's Australian party. Joining us now is political reporter Latika Burke from Canberra. Latika, good morning. Has there been much reaction to this ad?
Good morning, Michael. Well, understandably, gay activists have asked for this ad to be taken off air. Now, Aidan McLindon, the leader there of Katter's Australia Party, says that everyone has a right to express their political views and he won't be doing that as such. It's interesting, though, to note that that's a policy tangled up federally too in Canberra. That policy doesn't look like getting through, despite support, of course, from the Greens, who are pushing the reform, but the opposition looks like it won't support it, not even allow a conscience vote on it. And of course, we know that while the Labor Party's changed its platform to support gay marriage, the bulk of the party don't, including the Prime Minister, Julia Gillard.
Now, it's a sitting week in Canberra this week. One of the key issues will be the mining tax, which the government is desperately hoping to get through the Senate, but the Greens are still balking at supporting it. Why is that?
Yeah, this is really interesting, Michael, because the Greens supported this legislation in the lower house, ensuring its passage through the House of Representatives last year. Now, this is becoming a defining piece of legislation for the Labor Party. Wayne Swan has gone on to attack miners, individuals in the last couple of weeks and point out that he thinks they're jeopardising a fair go. Well, that's all in aid of bolstering public support for his minerals resource tax, which aims to tax higher the minerals that these mining companies are digging out of the ground. Now, the Greens support that in principle. They actually support a higher tax rate and the original scheme that the government backed down on. But what the Greens are now concerned about is that they don't see in this legislation that's before the Senate and due for a vote maybe this week, the assisting small business tax cut. Now, the government agreed to implement that 1 year earlier for small business than it will for big business. But intriguingly, it hasn't included that tax cut in this suite of legislation. It's included all the other goodies, Michael, like the superannuation increase, tax concessions for assets for small business, but not this tax reduction. And the Greens say that until they see that, well, they may have some qualms about voting for this legislation anytime soon. Now, this is really important for the government because they need it bedded down before the end of the fiscal year, and there's only 2 weeks before the budget. Now, if the government then wanted to try and bring this legislation in the budget sitting, it's going to be cutting it very fine then.
It would indeed. And finally, Latika, Bob Carr, or as one of our viewers has already dubbed him, Boeing Bob, finally takes his seat in the Senate tomorrow.
Goodness, that happened early. Took Kevin Rudd at least his first round-the-world trip for that tag to be applied. Yes, look, Bob Carr is going to spend a day on the backbench tomorrow. Might be a very unusual place for anyone to picture or imagine the former New South Wales Premier. But on the backbench in the Senate, he will sit until later in the afternoon. He'll head out to Government House and be officially sworn in as the Foreign Minister tomorrow afternoon. So a long road to get to this point, but of course he's already been in New Zealand. He's held his first meeting with John Key over the weekend as Foreign Minister designate. Tomorrow is just ticking all the boxes and all those formalities.
OK, Latika, happy Canberra Day, by the way.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.